Welcome to Beach Park District 3 Beyond the Bell podcast. Today, we are sitting down with the leader who embodies the very definition of what it means to be a Newport star. She isn't just a newer face in the main office. She's a cornerstone of the district family. With 27 total years in education, 25 of them right here in Beach Park, she has served as a classroom teacher, a special education resource expert, and now a passionate school leader. She's a DePaul Blue Demon, an Aurora University Spartan 2 times over, and perhaps most importantly, she's a Beach Park resident and a mother whose children have walked the halls of the school that she now leads. Please join me in welcoming Principal of Newport Elementary, Dr. Laurie Garris. Good morning, Dr. Garris. How are you?
Morning. Good. Good to be with you this morning.
Yeah, I am so excited to have you on the show because of your history with the district. But more importantly, you're the very first principal to be on Beach Park Beyond the Bell. So congratulations on that.
I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. So we'll make it really easy to start out with. Let's just hear about you, your background, and what was the path that led you down the road to education?
I guess thinking back, I had a favorite teacher who believed in me. It was my 5th grade teacher, Mr. DeFeo. He really was so, enthusiastic, energetic. He always truly embodied the belief that we actually have here that all our kids can. And he was so encouraging. And that's one of the things I always kept with me as I continued on through high school. And the high school that I attended actually had a preschool in the high school. So residents of the community and then teachers had their kids in there. So I got a chance to work in there when I was in high school. And I was like, I really like doing this. This is for me. So that led me to get my undergrad degree in early childhood education. So I was actually the first cohort for early childhood education for a bachelor's degree at DePaul.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I was the first cohort many years ago. And then, my journey shifted in education when I started. I taught preschool and kindergarten, and I was in the city. I had a little guy who probably was severely autistic, but didn't know it 27 years ago at that time. He was nonverbal. He was very, very active. He wasn't social. And I needed some tools in my toolbox because I wasn't prepared to help him as much as I should have been. When you go into education, you take very few special education courses. It's mostly about your general major and you get an overview. So just to be prepared more to serve as students, that was really when I felt like I want to work with kids who have varied abilities and I want to be able to help them and their families. So that's what led me to get my master's in language literacy and specialized instruction, which is basically, special ed learning disabilities. And it was a great experience. I got so much experience working there actually worked for 2 years in the lab at DePaul, worked with children all the way up to adults, really got to put everything to use. And then, led me continued with my regular education journey and then wound up getting a job here as a resource teacher at Little Beach, which is now Howe.
Yeah. That's awesome. So Dr. Garris, you've been a part of the Beach Park District 3 fabric for many years.
Mm-hmm.
From kindergarten to first grade classrooms, 17 years as a special education teacher at Newport, correct?
Yes.
Essentially. Okay. And you've seen a lot. What would you say it is about Beach Park that made you decide to build your career here initially?
Well, actually, my husband and we weren't married yet. Steven is a retired firefighter in Lake County. And one day he went basically on a road trip with a buddy of his who worked for Lake County Sheriff and said, I want to build a house. Where's a nice area that I can go build a house and, start my family? So they drove around and found a plot of land in Wadsworth. And he's like, if there's any place I want to live, this would be the place where I'd want to live. So that was what, 1997, 98. And yeah, so I actually applied for a job. I was working in Gray's Lake at the time, and I was commuting from Mount Prospect every day.
Wow.
We started building our house. I remember, speaking with, people that I worked with, and just, planning, our life and our family here, and meeting people in the community through events at school. It's been my home for a long time. Just a place where I work. I mean, this is my home.
Yeah. And it's unique. And not everyone has that story. You've spent nearly 2 decades in special education. How do you think that that specific background, that experience with specialized instruction, meeting the needs of some of our most needing students and advocating for them have shaped the way that you look at school from a leadership lens now?
It changes, but I will say one thing that's constant is you just constantly have to adapt what you do. You constantly have to adapt what you do. I mean, too, as a teacher and then a principal, you have new students all the time.
Yeah.
So what might work for one group may not work for another. But really looking at that lens of, every year is a new year. And really, you just have to make those adaptations to your instruction and see what's going to work.
Yeah, I feel like you said it like at the beginning of the podcast where you said, when you're going through school and you're getting your teaching certificate and you're doing your student teaching, there wasn't anyway a lot of emphasis on students with high needs or differentiation of instruction for that matter, in a sense of meeting all the learners where they're at. So I would think that, and in my experience is the same, like as a special education teacher in that background, we are continuing to have conversations with teachers about the differentiation of instruction and understanding diverse learners. Do you find that you lean on that because of your history and you've been a better
All
leader
the
for it?
time, all the time. I mean, you take bits and pieces from different educators. You take bits and pieces from just things that you see in and around the building. You always have to keep something in the back of your mind of, "Hey, I tried this, what else can I do?" It's important, I think, too, that I really believe that all students should have the opportunity to have that core instruction. And, just like regardless of what their ability level is, every child should have that core instruction. And once you get that information of where they are and where their learning is, then you're able to build from there.
Yeah.
But that takes time. I mean, it does. I mean, I see it with, new teachers all the way up to, seasoned teachers where, you're inputting, new materials and new curriculum, but there's still those strategies that you're going to use. It just might look a little different with some of that material,
Yeah.
but I'm learning along with them all the time. So, and that's part of learning and growing as a leader too. I mean, I have to learn everything along with them.
Yeah. You went from a bachelor degree to a master's degree to a doctorate in curriculum and instruction, which is absolutely amazing. You did all of that while working.
I
What
did.
what was the driving force behind that type of commitment and pursuit of excellence, and how would you say that the district supported your growth along the way?
Wow. Looking back, I think, how did I do all of that? I really did. It's a lot of work. I always loved going to school. I really did. Even though it sometimes is stressful, as a student, I always wanted to do really well. I love to read and I love to learn. My parents did not have an opportunity to go to college, but they always pushed education. So they were really, a driving force of, put in your best effort. So it was, that was always really important growing up. I can say that that was just a goal.
Yeah.
I always wanted to, get my doctorate. I really did. I really love I love curriculum and instruction. I love learning about learning and how things work and just seeing how we can make things better for all students, but then, my own personal growth. I learned so much and I got the opportunity to learn from other people.
Yeah.
And that's really important too. Cause I mean, you can read something, but it doesn't mean that you're truly going to learn from it unless you put it to use. But so I finished my doctorate in 2015. And I had an opportunity to go back to school actually after my husband was injured in the line of duty. So he was a firefighter and he was now home with our girls. So they were 8 and 6 at the time. So once I started, I mean, I had the opportunity to continue to work. He was now the stay at home dad. So it really left time for me to get into a schedule of study. My doctorate was on co-teaching as a service delivery model as it's underutilized for all students, not just special education students, but all of them. So it was exciting time, stressful time because you have a lot of things to do and finding that work-life balance can be challenging. But it was great. My girls got to see me do my dissertation defense. So that's a great memory for me. And it was great to see, that work come, to fruition when you finally get that, you do your dissertation defense, you finally get that done and the weights lifted. And I didn't have an opportunity for several years after that to become an administrator, but it's led me on this journey to where I am now.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say to you that it is an inspiration. I'm in my doctorate program, and there are a few people that that are leaders in the district that are going through their doctorate, and it is a lot. But when we can surround ourselves with people like you who have done it, and you've been inspirational in that you have done it and completed it in the same context of being at work and in being in a leadership role, serving the district. But there's another piece to that. I think that like you also support us because you've asked me multiple times in random conversations, say, hey, how's your doctorate program going? What's the work like? And you've just been accessible. So I'm grateful for that. I have this opportunity to tell you that. And so thank you. And I know that the other people that you ask and talk to also feel the same way. So it's inspirational. It's going beyond the classroom and your doctorate to now it's infectious in that you're supporting people who are trying to do
Okay.
the same thing. What advice would you give to someone right now thinking about furthering a degree, whether it's going from their teaching certificate to a master's or their master's to a doctorate or master's to another master's? What kind of advice would you give to that student?
I mean, Beach Park has been very supportive, over the course of my career. And even before Dr. Wilcox, they want to grow from within. And Dr. Wilcox is a big proponent of growing our staff from within. That's she got me this chair. So, she got me to this point as far as giving me this opportunity. But, I have staff members who are working on their master's degrees in various, parts of education. It's a great experience. It's also a good time for you to be able to work with other people in the district based on whatever your assignments are and get to know them as well. Different administrators, different roles, whether it be for you for HR or for teaching and learning, for, working with Mr. Seda in regards to student services. So you're going to have to talk to Mr. Adams too when it comes to that business side. I mean, there's so much to it, but it also gives you an opportunity. I know I was working um, with Mr. Shore, who teaches fourth grade. He's working on his master's. He had an opportunity to sit in and, do an observation with me. And it was for kindergarten. And afterwards he was like, wow, this is a whole new world for me, since I teach fourth grade. So it really opens up doors. It gets, you an opportunity to see what others do and, take that all in. And it may lead you into a different direction. Think you want a certain path or a certain grade level, but it may, lead you into a different direction. So you never know.
Yeah. So, as a Newport star, you've been around the building. How do you think that the community has evolved since you first started working there, and what's remained constant despite the changes in education?
Oh, the community as far as, I mean, we've evolved in the sense that, we just continue to bring in new families. Our staff has changed, teachers have retired, but one thing is constant that, we don't give up. We're a resilient group. We've always been really resilient. We're out on the outskirts of the district, so I think that has something to do with it. We have a beautiful setting surrounded, by, it's a very wooded area. So it's peaceful. We have great families that, come to Newport as well that help support us along the way through everything.
Yeah,
Whether it's, parties in for, holiday events, field trips, PTO events, our reading and STEM nights. We're doing our first math night this year ever. So, we really appreciate and we know how important that is for us because we're partners with families for their child's education.
for sure.
Um, so it's always been, I don't know, I always think we're like like the little engine that could. And I've never had a staff member tell me like, no, we can't do this.
Yeah.
And that's been like that since the day I walked in this building. So I have, that makes my job easier at times too,
Yeah, it goes to
because we
leadership role
just
too. I mean, it's
yeah,
leadership is a
it
big
does,
deal.
and we rally together, and like I said, our families are great, they're welcoming. I love being in and out and around the community and running into students, whether it's at the grocery store or, at a Kingfish game, which we frequent. So I love that part of my job outside of school too, because that's great, it's exciting for the kids, it's exciting for me. And that's a constant. So that I really appreciate. We've welcomed new families with our gifted and talented program. So now we have families from, all of the elementary schools, and that's been a welcome addition as well.
So moving from the classroom to the principal, it's a big shift,
Mhm.
especially if you're moving from the classroom to principalship in your own building that you've taught in. What do you think's been the most surprising and rewarding part of seeing Newport through the principal's lens so far?
There's so many things. I mean, as a resource teacher, I worked with various teachers at different grades. One year I might have someone in a particular grade and I may not have someone, for a while. I get to work with everyone. And I get to be in the classrooms, all of them, not just a certain grade. So I really enjoy that and working with, everyone. I mean, there's 41 staff members here that walk in the building every day. So just to get to know any lunchroom supervisors and our TAs, staff at pick up in the morning, drop off in the morning, or pick up in after school. I mean, those are really great, times and opportunities for me to get to know other people. And for them to get to know me. I really think, it's a K through 5 building. And we may not have, 500 students, but we have a great opportunity for learning as a new principal too, because it's not a huge building. So that I felt has been really beneficial for me overall.
What's been a tradition as this is your third year as a principal in Newport, correct?
Mhm.
So
Yes.
was there a tradition of your building that you kept alive? And is there something that you were excited to grow and change?
So we've always had reading nights, but we've extended to having like STEM nights, and now we're doing math nights, which is great. We always have done, like, our Friday 5th graders they do announcements in the morning, and they do them with the principal on Fridays. So I love doing that because some of them too, even when I wasn't a principal, I've seen them in kindergarten. So they get all excited to come in my office and we do announcements together. But I love all of our events for after school families are really great. I love our reading night. I mean, I love to read myself, but I love our reading night. Every year I'm like, this is the best one. This is the best one we've had. We just had another one last week. I'm like, this is the best one we've ever had. So, and it goes along with our school. We always have done, a theme.
Yeah. What's a reading night look like? What happens at a reading night?
Oh, it's great. So, based on our theme for the past few years, So our theme is our Newport Learning Adventure. So, because learning is an adventure. So, it was based on that. We have different stations set up with activities. So, the teachers don't lead the activities, they work with their parents. So, they go from station to station. They had little passports this year. So, they went from each station, they got a stamp on their passport. They did varied activities. And when they were done, they got to turn in their ticket and they actually won gift certificates. We pulled, I believe, 5 names. They won gift certificates to the book fair.
I love it.
Yeah, and we did get some, book donations as well. So it's great. It was great, and like I said, every year I keep thinking, "Oh, this is the best one." Last week, I'm like, "This is the best one we've ever done." So those are great activities that I love getting to walk around and, see our families that continue to support us, and they're back time and time again. So it's a great experience, and the kids come back the next day and talk about it.
So, switching gears a little bit, from a student centered administrative lens, how do you ensure that your door is always open for students while managing all the other high demands of being a building principal?
I have kids that talk to me outside. They're like, "Can I come and talk to you later?" I'm like, "Sure, you could come and talk to me later." Or if I'm walking in the hallway, they'll be like, "Tell me something." If I go into one of their specials, they have to, talk to me or come in. I've had just kids just come in and ask Mrs. Pelly, "Can I go in and talk to Dr. Garris?" Like, You could come in and talk to me." It doesn't have to be, I think kids get the impression that they have to come in my office because they're in trouble or something happened.
Yes,
No, and I've talked to kids, I want you to come and tell me something good too,
I love that.
and I love that. The best time, I mean, I think I've said this before and as a principal, like the best time is sometimes like that drop off and pick up in the morning.
For
That's the
sure.
best time of the day. Everybody's happy. I'm outside. We're ready to go. Doesn't matter what the weather is. I mean, the kids are excited, good morning, or, I got a new coat, or
Yeah, it
what
is so great.
it is. It's the best. It's the best. And then
And
you get
I've
to know
done
families.
I've done more drop-offs at your building, I think, than I've done at any other building, and I just, like, it doesn't matter what building it is. It is such a great time, and, I guess from my lens, as a district office person who's coming to, like, visit the school and hang out, you don't really know the kids very well because 'cause you're not the administrator or teacher in the building. You definitely don't know the parents. But every single time, the parents are so welcoming to open up a door for a kid and say, "Hey, welcome to school today. Thanks for coming. Happy whatever day it is." It's like it fills your heart. Parents are always like, I love you. And the kids are like, "I love you, mom," or "I love you, dad." And they jump out of their car and they're just charged to go into school because it's the best part of their day is like being at school. You
It
can
is.
tell. It's great. As a longtime teacher yourself, how do you foster an environment where your teachers at Newport feel empowered to take risks, be innovative, and have access to you?
Well, one thing that I've said and, I've learned is what's the best that could happen? Just use your resources, try it. Of course you could try it. What's the best that can happen? I had a teacher ask me not long ago, I want to have lunch with my students and we're going to work on this. I'm like, "That's great.
That
Yeah,
is
of course
great.
you could do that. Of course you could do that." Or doing a certain club. We have choir here for the first time. That's great. We have different STEM activities after school, crafters club. It's really important for teachers to showcase some of their hidden talents too.
Yeah.
And that is actually going to spark that curiosity from kids.
Yeah.
Going to be, we talk about core memories. Yes, they're going to have core memories about something that they did in class or that aha moment, something that clicked. But making a memory with your teacher is one that's going to last, a lifetime. And you're going to have one of those, like I had one of those Mr. DeFeos. It's going to be one of those moments that you're going to remember.
I absolutely agree with you. There's absolutely right. That is exactly what they're going to remember. It's hard to remember the lattice method for division
Hmm.
and the deconstruction of sentence structures. But the way you make kids feel in education, it is a lasting core memory.
I've had conversations with my daughters and they've said things. It's like, "Oh, I remember I did this in fourth grade, or I did this when I was at the middle school in sixth grade. And those are the things that are, going to help them as they grow.
So speaking of, so both your daughters are alumni now of Newport and Beach Park Middle School.
Yes.
How
Yeah.
does having been a Newport mom change the way that you communicate with the parents in your building as an administrator?
I do that all the time. I mean, I think about that. I mean, you're a parent too. You have to put yourself in their shoes too. I know, and sometimes when you have to have, those difficult conversations, you have to think that this is somebody's baby. That's somebody's baby. That's her child. So, I can recall good conversations. I can recall, you know, conversations that maybe somebody had, it was difficult for them to have with me because they knew I worked, in the district or in the building, parent teacher conferences. Well, you have to have them,
Yeah.
right? But, it's good. It's good for growth.
Yeah.
But yeah, you always have to constantly put, yourself in what you're doing is impacting their child on a daily basis and working collaboratively with that family. That's our job and that's important. I tell people all the time, my daughter's got a great education. This was their foundation. So their foundation started here, and, when I talk about, making a theme, it's not just because it's cute. I really mean like it's a learning adventure. And one thing I put on my bulletin every week for teachers, and it's just a symbol and something that I made up, is that adventure starts with us as teachers.
Yeah.
So, we are instilling that with them right now, and that's going to lead them forward. So when they leave Newport, we have to, get them ready for, beyond Newport. So once they leave here, they're ready to go to the middle school. When they leave the middle school, they're ready to go to the high school. And,
Yeah.
and beyond that, and whatever their journey may lead them.
Yeah. So for a new teacher listening to this who might be in their first or second year, what's a secret to staying inspired and growing where you're planted? For 25 years, like you have been, what would you say to them? Because it's tough. We know it's tough. Teaching is difficult and it can be discouraging, but there's so many great moments. What would you say to somebody?
Just, continue learning and even, get an opportunity to, find a course you want to take or go to a conference. See what, your colleagues are doing. Is there something that interests you? What you can find out from reading. And even, I know it looks different now. There's so many great teachers who have podcasts. There's so many different, not just print media, but there's so many different forms of media, and just from different learning experiences, what you could bring into your classroom to help you grow, because being an educator also means finding that resiliency within yourself, because things are going to change. Education's, going to continue to evolve, and you have to go along, that you're along with for that ride.
Whether it's a staff member working for you or a staff member in our district that's listening to the podcast, what would you say to a staff member who's currently struggling in the classroom? What advice would you give them?
Use your people. Use your people. Find your resources. Use your people. Those are the best resources you have. They are. And it's okay to ask for help. I ask for help. I don't know everything. I'm constantly learning. I have a lot of resources. I have people who have been in the profession. I have friends who are administrators and principals in other districts too, and I reach out to them. And it's okay not to know everything, but that's part of learning and growing. And use the people around you. It's not a deficit. It's just part of, of growing.
Yes.
And if we knew everything, we wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah. So I've had conversations, and I'd ask this question to everybody because you're an administrator, and I've been in the administrative role. We've both been teachers, and there's so many difficult moments that I've had to navigate. And I think it's just really healthy for our audience to hear administrators talk about like your days are difficult, and you can come and lean on us to help. And in this district, like you're the principal, your people can go to you, and we have to create a safe space. And And I go back to like letting my staff know that, I say a lot of things and I'm telling you to come to me, but what it really takes is building trust with every single individual to know that it's safe enough to come and get the help. But the other piece is that the door is open and it is okay, and it's not judging. We want the best for our staff. We want them to be the best teachers for our kids. And we don't look at it through a lens of judgment, but more like, well, what more do you need? And the other piece to this, and I wouldn't mind you chiming in on it, is we often don't know what our staff needs because they are afraid to come to us, but we can't solve the problem unless they do. So do you find that as a hurdle, and how do we get over that? Is it just talking about it? I think it is.
It is. And you know what? You can't fix what you don't know. You
Right.
can't help what you don't know. And I have, staff has my phone number. They can email me, they could text me. I mean, I get texts all the time. Can I come and talk to you? Or can we meet after school? Are you available right now? Yep, I'm available. So that's important.
Yeah.
That
That's good
really, I mean,
advice.
that's important. I mean, I've not, I've had various administrators too where, I appreciate the feedback. I welcome the openness, and that has to continue because I can't do it without them.
Yeah.
I
100%.
mean, I can't do it without them.
Yeah.
So that's the truth. And I need to make sure that they're okay. Some days are challenging for some. And it's also being able to balance your work and life. And some days it's hard to do that as a teacher and it's hard to do that as an administrator. But, it's okay to ask, for support. 100%.
Yeah.
No matter what role you're in.
Thank you for that. I think it's healthy for people to just hear us talk about it. From Newport to the middle school, you've seen your own kids make that transition. What advice do you have for your parents whose fifth graders are about to leave and head over?
Well, that's such a hard time for parents. They tell me all the time, they're leaving. You know what? I can remember because my girls went to school in the car with me every day. They could not wait to take the bus. That's the one thing they were like, I remember Megan was like, I get to take the school bus. And I was like, yeah, you get to take the school bus. But there's so many different opportunities for them too. They're changing classes and the structure of the building. They have more freedom, obviously to walk around. They're not just their teachers not just taking them from place to place. They're learning that independence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's okay. And
Yeah,
it's
they love
okay
the
for them
transition.
to be okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be. They do love the transitions. It's really healthy. I mean, I worked in the middle school too, and it is nerve-wracking. I had fifth grade students when I was teaching, and then I went over to the middle school, and for all the things that are scary, and it's scary for fifth graders, like it's the
it is.
unknown. Um,
Yeah.
it
I
really,
taught Yeah, I taught 5th grade at the middle school for 2
right,
years when it first
right.
opened. So, yeah, I mean, it's different,
Yeah.
right? It is a different transition, but like I said, there's great opportunities for them, with different after school programs as well for them, just helping them, be well-rounded individuals. And that's part of parenting is growing along with your kids, and they need you in different ways.
You're so great. I mean, for real, like, what a great thing to hear, and I'm glad that you spending time with me. Can I get into some fun quick fire questions as we're coming to an end? Yeah? Alright. So what was your favorite subject when you were in school?
When I was in elementary school, I loved reading. College, I loved literature, and I loved my religion classes at DePaul, but not that we had to study Catholicism, but to study different religions
Yeah.
and learn about how people just, found their peace all over the world in different ways. I really love that.
What's your favorite Newport Elementary spirit day?
That's a hard one. I think I love I don't do it, but I love this when they do like crazy hair.
Okay.
It's really cool to see what some of these kids come to school with their crazy hair. I just love to watch the crazy hair
I
days.
like crazy hair too because parents really get into it. You can tell parents get into it
Yes.
with their kids. Here's another good one. You can give me your feedback on this. How
Okay.
about 100 Day?
Oh, Hundreds Day is fun. Hundreds Day is fun. I mean,
Describe it.
some dress up like old people. All the things that they bring, those are fun. Those are fun days.
Yeah, when kindergartners walk in looking like 100-year-old people with canes and they've got lines markered onto
Yeah.
their face and their gray hair spray painted, it's so
And
endearing.
rollers. Yes.
It's the best part of elementary, man. Like, and it's also like, it's a good marker. You go, oh, it's been 100 days. This is
I
great.
know.
That's amazing.
I know.
Let's see. If you wouldn't mind sharing, and maybe it's too personal, you got your alumni daughters. What are they up to these days?
Sure. Well, my oldest, Megan, she graduated from St. Norbert's College last year. And she's working on her new adventure. So she is actually going to get her master's in teaching. And she's subbing around the district. And so it's exciting to see that. Yes. She's like, I really love doing this, Mom. I'm like, okay, then that's what you're going to do. Got her feet wet. Um, and Madeline is going to be 21. She's a junior at Lewis University. She's an aviation flight major. So she is a private pilot and she's working on her commercial rating. They're both great. They're both great kids. They're different. They both loved learning. So, they're on their different adventures and their adventures started here.
Yeah.
So that makes us feel good as parents.
I love that Megan's substitute teaching in our district. And how cool would it be that at some point, because she's not far off in the future, that you're both working in the same district? Like, what a cool way to come in for a daughter, and a great way for a mom to go out and into retirement someday. That's just a great story.
It is. It's come
Yeah.
full circle.
It is full circle. What's the first thing you do when you walk in your office every day?
So I get here really early in the morning. It's nice, it's quiet, but like the first 15, 20 minutes of my morning when I come in and nobody's here yet, I read. It just helps center me, uh, helps me get ready for the day. I just started my new book too, so I'm really excited about that. This time for myself is important because, once we don't have bells, but once that clock starts,
Yep.
it's nonstop.
That's awesome. If you could describe Newport in one word, the vibe there. I know it's super difficult. I'll give you 3 words if you need them. What would it be?
Teamwork. We always work as a team. I mean, no matter what happens, everybody's ready to go. They're ready to figure something out.
All right. What are you
Really,
binge watching right now? Anything?
The Diplomat.
Okay, The Diplomat.
It's political thriller. It's really good.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Okay, very good.
I just finished season 3.
Okay, how about the best concert you've ever attended in your life? Where was it and why?
So, just one.
I'll give you a couple.
Well, it was actually right after COVID. I saw Dan and Shay with my oldest one, Megan, up in Milwaukee. And then Madeline, we saw Kenny Chesney at Miller Park.
Okay.
So I would say those are 2 of my favorites, only because I got to share them with each of them, and coming out of that, COVID time. So it was great to be outside. It was great to be around people and listen to music. And those are great memories for us.
Oh, that's endearing. All right, Dr. Garris, listen, it's clear that you're the heart that beats in Newport and keeps that building going. Having someone who knows the building as a teacher, a parent, now a principal is such a gift in our district and to that building and to the current parents that have their children there. We're super excited to watch you and the Newport Stars just shine every single year. I want to thank you so much for being the very first administrator podcast, to having taken the risk and being vulnerable, and for the hard work that you do every single day. It's always a joy and a pleasure to have you and to talk with you and to come stop by the building. You always give me time, and our conversations that have nothing to do with work are our best conversations. To our audience, if you're looking for a district where you can truly grow your own career, moving from the classroom to leadership, just like Dr. Garris has done, Beach Park District 3 is the place for you. Clearly, you have the vibe of what's going on at Newport. So please, if you're looking to become an employee, part of our Beach Park family, check out our BPD3.org employment page. There's going to be positions posted from now until we start the school year. Newport families and the entire Beach Park community, thank you so much for your continued support for our leaders and for our students and for everything that our parents do at home to groom our kids. You're the most important part of everything that happens with our children, but we love taking them in and we love doing the best that we can for them, and we are all accessible, so do not ever hesitate to reach out to anyone in the district. And for our staff, we see you. You're always seen. Our administrators see you. Your staff sees you. your teammate across the hall or next to you sees you, anything you need, the same gratitudes are extended. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you so much for being you. I would encourage anybody listening to the show to please like and subscribe. We're on all the social media podcasts, channels that are out there, Apple, YouTube, Spotify, and Amazon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave your comments to help the channel grow. And we look forward to seeing you at the next show. Please comment on our show. And for Dr. Garris, anything on the way out?
I would love all kids to keep enjoying their learning adventure.
Yeah, for sure. You're
Thank
the
you
best.
so much for the time today.
Yeah, thank you for your time. I know you got to run, but man, I'm grateful for you. I'm here for you. If you need me, please reach out. And to that, I will say
Have a great day.
goodbye.
Bye.